Camera, what are you doing? Hello, 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 and welcome to another intermittent code fun where our camera wants to be weird. Let's deactivate it and reactivate it. XSplit. What's going on here? I was not expecting my camera to not work. Hello, Amin. Hello, Avidus. I was asking Avidus earlier how everything is going, and he says he's doing well. Work is stressful as always, but funding for future projects is looking promising, which is always a good thing. Well, I guess not really always. It sounds like it's a good thing. Hey, camera works like a magic. Thank you for joining us, camera. Weirdo. So yeah, we also have funding. So the client that I'm working with, their fiscal year just ended on the 31st, and so we were sure that we were going to continue the project, but it's official now that we are going to continue the project. So that's a good thing. Okay, who wants to be weird? And I'm still getting set up. Go figure. This guy never prepared for the stream. Please forgive me for that. As you know, I usually work until the very, very, very last minute because that just flashed at me. Because I'm still getting paid. Those are billable hours that I'm billing to the client, and integrity tells me that I need to make sure that I am doing work during those billable hours. Go figure. Okay, so we are now at the stream dough, and we're looking out a window somewhere in Bremen, Germany. Cool. Very cool. This actually looks like a street that I used to walk to school, or to the bus stop at least. That was maybe a quarter mile to a half mile away from where I lived when we were in Germany. Crazy. Good times. But hello, happy Friday to you all. It is Community Day on our channel, which I don't have that set up either. So let me get that set up, where we like to invite any of our community members to hop into Discord, one of the voice channels, and pop into, or not one of them. I keep saying one of the voice channels. It used to be that I didn't have a dedicated waiting room essentially, but now I have a stream waiting room. You can see up there in the top left corner of your screen anyone that might show up in the room. Their names will appear up there, and you'll be able to tell who is talking. I'm thinking of starting to try to use guest star in the future. I have a scene set up for guest star that we can try out. And what guest star is it will allow us to use um, a staging area essentially, where if you felt like it, you could have camera, you could keep your camera off, but your voice will still come through. So that's going to be fun to figure out in the future. Whoa. Man, the light on my mobile studio for when my camera turns on is bright as all get out. Cause I can say that. Cause it's a weird way to say that. But yeah, I mean it's like nice. So I need to get my audio set up on Discord. so I can make sure the audio comes through the stream and it doesn't get lost. And we go to stream. This one, turn channel 2 on. And there you go. So now the recording will pick up your voice as well. Just a reminder that all of the videos have been getting posted to the YouTubes 24 hours or so after the stream. At minimum 24 hours after the stream. I just have to remember after the stream to prepare it to, export it and then prepare it to publish, which doesn't always happen in time. Especially on Fridays, because on Fridays, I don't know, I just feel like there's so many things that I want to make sure get done before the weekend starts, since I do my best, and it is a struggle for me, to be honest, to do my best to just not even touch anything work related. And it's just one of my personality traits. It's how it is for me. I enjoy the work that I do, and doing it all up front is pretty fun for me, so it doesn't really feel like I'm missing out on my weekend, except for the part where all of that time is encroaching on my time with the person that I chose to be with in life, and I don't want that. I want to be with that person. So yeah. Okay, so until we have our first guest, I'm gonna go ahead and show some of the things that we've been working on during the stream, which is this financial management tracker. We've made a lot of progress, especially over the past couple of streams. Wow, I totally thought that I was going to say over the past couple of days, but I caught myself immediately. Good times. How are we doing with how everything is laid out? Worded? Oh yeah. Right, it's down here. So the Financial Management Tracker application is intended to be an application that you personally use for your own financial management tracking. So you enter your own payments, deposits, and transfers for yourself, for your own records. Keep track of all of the accounts. We need to get the accounts to show up over here eventually. But the long-term goal of this, like for me personally, entering the transactions that I have manually instead of using a site like Mint to automatically track it for me, means that I am actually paying attention to my spending, and I am keeping an eye on when I'm deciding to just splurge on. It's usually food that I splurge on. It's terrible. I'm such a foodie because I don't really buy all that much in general, but yeah, food's definitely where the majority of my money goes. And of course the house and other regular recurring bills. But yeah, so we want that in this application. The other thing that I would like for it to do for us is I'm currently using a combination of Access, which is still connected to a SQL Server. So I'm using a combination of Access and Excel to do all of my forecasting. So Microsoft Access, I didn't create reports or anything in there. All that I did was have all of my data entry forms, right? Excel 97 for the win. I have all of my data entry forms, for payments, deposits, and transfers, and all of my database connectivity in there, a little bit of logic in there for doing all of the calculations for me. I have so much trouble with that word. And then after doing all of my data entry stuff, I go into Excel, and that shows me all of my accounts in a table with day across the top, month across the left, and then just above the day number, all of my regular and recurring bills for that specific account. And I have that in 3 separate, or as many accounts as I have in the database is how many calendars essentially I have. And it has the running totals as well up to the current date, as well as any futures based on my regular and recurring bills, paychecks, and credit card payment due date, which I guess is still a regular and recurring bill. And then, yeah, and then I'm able to look at today through the end of the year, and then I change the year to the next year. The problem with that is I have to manually take the value from the last cell of the year and paste it into the first cell if I'm trying to check the next year. All of the previous data is going to be static. So all of the data is still populated based off of the database, based off of year-to-date kind of stuff, or not even year-to-date, beginning of time to date. So anyway, I would like a programmatic way to do that. The CI builds are failing. Thank you for sending that now. Hold on. I need to log into Azure DevOps real quick and maybe take a quick glance at why our CI build is failing. So we have a demo product that we're trying to give to the client with the new UI changes. We've been giving them the new functionality and stuff, but with the classic, the legacy skin. And now that I've finished hooking up the testing functionality, so not tests as you would test code, but actual hardware type tests that this application does. Now that I've hooked that up to the front end and it works the way that it's supposed to, we prepared a build for them that will show the new UI doing the same functionality with, of course, the unimplemented stuff hidden. And I loved doing that part. So I have a little toggle that's only available in debug that you can turn on, and it will show the unimplemented elements. And I put an outline on it so that if I'm demoing the project from my debug session to the client, because they've been looking at this the whole time, of course, while we've been doing the development, but only when we share it with them during our client meetings. So when I check the box, it's like this magical world opens up with a whole bunch of features and stuff that are still in development or only available to me, like the ability to pick specific tests to run. There's a feature where you can run a certain set of tests that are pretty quick, but you're not able to select which of those tests to run, and it will always run all of them. So I was just like, when I want to test out these individual tests to make sure they're hooked up correctly, I would like to pick the one that I'm focused on, make everything work that way, and get the UI for it and all of that stuff. So that's what I did. I pushed debug, check a box. The box has a little outline on it that's like, caution, debug only. This is an unimplemented feature, or another page that I'm not done hooking up. That entire page is hidden unless I check the box so that I can see the page as I'm working on it. And yeah, it's so much fun. It's so cool. So anyway, pipelines. Pipeline. Maybe we already have. Okay, someone else is taking care of it. So I don't need to worry about that right now. Progtesting is here. Thindle is here. Captain Commerce. I just read your comment, but I didn't actually greet you. Hello, Captain Commerce. Shout outs for both my mouse and my keyboard. We got the Captain for Captain Commerce. Thindle, if you would like a custom shout out, then feel free to drop whatever text you want me to include in your shout out, and we will give you one. Otherwise, here is a link to his channel at least. They are both .NET developers. Captain Commerce works with Nop Commerce, and as well as side projects. And right now he's working on this really cool card inventory management project, collectible card inventory management project. And Thindle works on modernizing legacy applications. One of my favoriteest things to do and watch. So I really, really enjoy his streams when I'm able to catch them. When I notice that he's flipping live, I'm terrible at this. I want to be a better community member to you guys. I'm almost always hanging out in someone's channel. Yeah. So definitely give them a check, especially if you're into .NET development and you want to see some really cool people doing it. Captain Commerce is super entertaining. Thindle is Thindle. And also, plug. Thindle has written an extension for Visual Studio called Don't Dox Yourself. And this is especially good for streamers as well as if you are, see, and he's here, as well as, oh, wait, I can hear him. That's what's happening. I thought you hopped into voice channel. That's weird. It was just that when I went to your channel, your stream was being played back on the landing page. But so anyway, it's good for streamers who want to make sure that they don't accidentally show their secrets file when they're opening it, or any key value pairs in an XML XML-ish and XML-like JSON and the other one, YAML, and all of those fun file types. YAML and TAML are coming. Okay, not there yet, but that's okay. But it's also good if you are demoing a project to clients or maybe even to a technical test crowd, where you're actually showing the code and whatever other information, but you want to make sure that you also hide your secrets in that scenario as well from the presentation. So it's really cool. I can prove that it works because I'm using it. And if we go to something like my secrets for my server project, which has my database connection strings, then you will see that it is masking my key value pairs, or at least the values in my key value pairs. If for some reason you don't have a well-formed JSON or whatever, then it will just mask the whole file if it can't quite parse it, which is even better because it's like, if I don't know what I'm looking at, I'll protect everything. But yeah, you can display the values, you can display comments only. Cool stuff, very cool stuff. So, thank you, Tyndall, for that. When you don't want to check your bad humor secret passwords to your coworkers. Oh, don't want to show. I don't know. I learned about it from you, but I also saw someone else using it. I can't remember who though. Okay, I did a pretty good job of not chewing up my lip over the past few days. I guess since Wednesday, over the past 2 days. So it's doing better, but I'm finding that now that I'm talking with you guys and I'm doing a lot more breathing in because I'm speaking out loud, my lips are getting drier and I'm wanting to bite them. It's not derailing Thindle, it's community day. There is no derailing this day. The only thing is, I think we need to start laying just a few ground rules. Let's avoid political type topics, or like when we're talking about opinions, let's have them be more towards technology and programming and software, as opposed to other countries' dialect, etc. Instead of actual people, just keep it to technology. Cool. So like I said, until we get some actual people that want to start sharing, I guess I can start sharing this earlier, like maybe 10 minutes before the stream. No, not anymore. Thindle. I would appreciate it if you didn't. You can do it in chat, but not over the voice channel anymore. Like that. You can do that in chat. But also, I would still just appreciate it if you were like, a lot of people would know that you're joking, but then there are people that don't know that you're joking, and so in order to avoid any vagaries, just don't. This is a software development channel. Our opinions are more along the lines of arguing about what's the correct way to do a thing in technology, what's the better way to do it, what's the yeah. Those are the kinds of arguments I don't mind. Yeah, tabs versus spaces, exactly, Tyron. Yeah, there are other channels that you could do that in, that you could talk either jokingly or seriously about political or economical or whatever, social economical. But yeah. The other thing that I don't mind conversations about, because it's not about specific people, is personality, sociology kind of stuff. Um, like if you're just talking about a typing system or the actual types themselves, but not about specific people. Kind of like what I ask the disclaimer that I put into the rant room, where the rant room is a place in our Discord that you can go, yeah, Puppy's doing yoga like that. I'll pull up that picture. But the rant room is a place that you can go in our Discord channel to vent and say, here is this crappy situation that happened that I didn't like, or here are just these things that annoy me about my current job, the current team that I'm working with. Just try to keep it not person specific, and make it about the situation itself. Yeah, fitness too. So these are fairly neutral topics, especially fitness for developers. These are fairly neutral topics that don't have very much room in general. I mean, they could still, and if we find it becomes an issue, then we will address it at that point in time. But these are topics that generally don't raise issues or aren't misconstrued, easily misinterpreted. So I'm looking for the meme room, I think is where you posted it. No. You posted it in Pet Love. That's right. So here's an interesting thing, though. The message that Captain Commerce posted with this was, I saw this and I thought of you. I saw this in the store and I thought of you. And I know it's because of the yoga, but I'm not going to lie, I'm not a dog person. It's a 16-month calendar? So it goes into 2024, or is this the every month has 30 days in it calendar? But yeah, I do enjoy my yoga. Sometimes I don't enjoy it. Like we use two people as our primary yoga instructors. There's Yoga with Adrienne on the Find What Feels Good community on her YouTube channel or her actual website. And she's cool. She has a few other instructors on her channel that we enjoy more than her, but she does have some really good practices for calming down, stretching, breathing, etc., etc. But there are just a lot of times when she gets so self-conscious, and you kind of don't want that from a teacher. She gets awkward, and it's like, just take us, just keep leading us through the practice, and don't make it about you. We'll be fine. And then there is this guy named Dakota Maze Yoga on YouTube. And he's just crazy. He can do some pretty intense things. So we've tried to pick a specific selection of videos where we can actually do the things that he's asking us to do or he's leading us through doing. Um, my gosh. Like he does this thing where he'll be in downward dog and then he'll be like hop or step through your legs. So it's not just a normal hop. Actually, you know what? It's just going to be easier. We did subscribe to Adrian because we've done her yoga for so long and just wanted to show appreciation for it. Um, wait, what? Notify me. There. Oh yeah, that goes in my watch later. Dang it, so many things that I need to watch. Um, oh, you know what? I'm probably not gonna find the video where he does this float through your legs. But he'll do this thing where you would normally just hop to the front of the mat when you're in down dog, which means you lift your butt into the air, pull your legs in, and then place them down gently, and then you're in a forward fold at the front of your mat. But sometimes he'll do a hop through where you lift your butt into the air so you're pretty much doing a handstand, and then you push your legs through your arms in between, and then you're sitting flat on your butt with your legs extended. And I'm like, no, that doesn't work for me. I can't do that. I wish I could find one of those. There, maybe here. That's not yoga, that's gymnastics. Yeah, so he just stepped that time. Because this is supposed to be a relaxing flow. So he's not doing too much crazy. Like I said, we don't we try not to do those crazy ones. But yeah, and then the other thing that we love, or at least that I love, I don't know if Christy really loves it, but are the workouts with Masha. She is a principal. I think she's a principal. Ballet with the Marinsky. Which ballet company are you with? I can't think of which Russian ballet company she's with, but oh yeah, it is Marinsky. She's with Marinsky, and anyway, she does some things that are ballet inspired, but they are so good for reaching every bit of your body, and it's nice. Imagine a cat looking at you like that. Um, oh, can I post a link to that playlist? I think it's private. I think we have it private. Yeah, it's private. Gomenasai. I mean, I don't need it to be private. I'm okay with other people seeing that one. I could. Oh, I don't know. Can you? You could. You can. I mean, anyone that well, I guess that means that it's a bonus for anyone that watches my YouTube channel as well. If you feel like getting in some exercise. These are all anywhere between 13 and 20 minutes. There's a couple that are over 30, or 13 and 30 minutes, I guess. A couple that are over 30, but yeah, it's a really good daily practice, and I just mix it up which one I pick. Yeah, excellent. That would be awesome prog testing. So that would be something that I would look for videos on. Let me just read through some of this chat dough. Chat dough. Captain Commerce is like, I'm not a dog person either. Thindle says, I'd like to make an exception to the voice chat about people. What is the exception? I'd like to talk about how wonderful a human Balint is behind his back. Yeah, this is intended to be a supportive community as well, so I guess if you have stuff like that, it's not so bad. Again, things that are not easily misconstrued as offensive or yeah, use your better judgment. That's all. Uh, Captain Commerce says it might be a few months in 2022 and a few months in 2024. Okay, so like October through December and then January through February. And then all the months in between. Progtesting is like, I have been seriously thinking about paid online fitness streaming. Yeah, absolutely, though. That is something that a lot of people would want. Scott is like, yoga, awooga babuba. Huh? And then he comes up with his Ruffles arrives with a lightsaber emote. You, sir, are a scholar and a gentleman. That's not yoga, that's gymnastics. Agreed. Agreed, Tyron. But it's all about engaging your core and controlling yourself. And my legs are cows. Daniel says, although if I try that, Zelda is going to be looking at me like this. What are you doing? I know my Russian ballet companies. Perfect link, just enough for me to be motivated to watch it and for me to decide it's too much work. Oh man. Insert Shia LaBeouf yelling at you. Do it! Just do it! I only know that because one of the videos from Masha is a stamina building video, and the last thing that she does on it is a 90-minute burn, which is a 90-second burn, which is forearm plank for 90 seconds. And then she extends the time or something, and then she has the Shia LaBeouf voice come over. It's craziness. Crazy times. Good times though, but crazy times. And one more bit of news from me. We do have our next metaverse group meeting where we're talking about the XR design session for the demo concept. I'm so looking forward to that. I've been wanting to get super engaged and maybe a little bit on the overexcited part of it where it's maybe coming across as pushy. So I backed off a lot. But I would love to see this take off. I'm so very looking forward to it. Thindle says the best thing is he did that in front of a green screen, then put it out there. So it's very simple to put it wherever you want. Awesome. Good times. Okay, so again, we do have Community Day going on today. So whatever topic you feel like talking about within the bounds of what I mentioned earlier, feel free to bring up. Feel free to hop into either the stream waiting room or if you have access directly to it, the stream room. If you would like to discuss anything. Otherwise, I'm going to hop back to the financial management project. And without Dukasoft here, I forget to post the link to the project. Project is available on my GitHub. Which color of eggs is best and why? I like brown eggs because they have not been bleached. Now, are they the best? I don't know. I don't know. Ten out of 10 good and motivated answer. Yeah, I really don't know what makes whether eggs are naturally white or not, like chicken eggs, or if they're naturally brown, or if they come in all sorts of colors. I just know that the eggs that I end up cooking with the most are brown eggs. Does it matter when you could give a reason for your choice in like 3 seconds flat? Most are a bit light beigey white if they're white. And if they're uniform, they're usually treated. Uh-huh. 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 And Tyrant says there is a breed of chickens called Easter eggers that make green and blue. Wow. Maybe we should see that. That sounds interesting. Chicken Easter egger. Wow. It's a cool. That's really interesting. I like it. This is all I would be doing with them. Organize them by color, make art, because that's what you do with eggs. Too easy. That makes Easter way too easy. I've seen blue eggs, never green. Green yolk when they're seriously overcooked. Those eggs are freaking beautiful, though. Yeah, my favorite thing to do is to make hard-boiled eggs. The perfect hard-boiled eggs, although I don't like eating them. I just like making them. Okay, Captain Commerce, thank you so much for hanging about and lurking. Okay, so where are we at? Again, I'm not turning away from conversation. Any conversation you feel like having. I will live again. Right, we are hooking up the functionality to be able to submit our transactions. There's an add transaction. There is an add transaction. And there is an add transaction. Progtesting said, I feel like having a conversation, but I must eat beef first. I'll be back suddenly. Like, it's just gonna happen suddenly. Dindle says, Dad is starting. I was squeezing my eyeball. It looked like starting. Dad is staying over the night, so I'm gonna see if I can entice him to go home nowish. If I manage, I'll be back later. If not, I'll be back sooner. That's just mean, but understandable. Okay. So all of my payment stuff is hooked up. All of my transaction stuff is hooked up. Should be hooked up, including all of my payment entry, whatever these are called. Nope, not those. these line items. So let's see if we can submit each type, and then after submitting them, we will refresh the list down here, and we'll tell this list to get all of its information from the database. So let's start with a regular payment. So this is, I went to my favorite store on the 31st, my favorite store being Vindy's. Right, I don't know if I can do this yet. I forgot that I need to set up all of my lookup list getters. We'll see if this thing actually works or not. And I spent $200 there and had $14 in sales tax. Damn. And I'm paying from my checking account. Go. No idea. Server responded with error 500. And the error 500 is the could not provide a view model validator for payment entry view model. I completely forgot that that was a thing. So for our deposits, for example, we have a finger spaz, a transaction view model validator of T data entry view model, which we created one for deposits. Oh, apparently we did create one for each of the types, but I did not prepare them for dependency injection yet. So that's all that's missing. So let's add those. And so this, ooh, hair on the back of my neck felt like a spider. Ugh, or bug. I hate that. Okay, so that should fix it, where we are now providing a view model validator of each of the transaction types. Oh, no, I can't stop thinking about it. Don't you hate that? Oh, it's the music. Oh man, I woke up this morning and had to take the garbage bins to the curb, and there was this white layer of stuff covering our lawn, some of the houses, rooftops. I'm not looking forward to shoveling. I need to buy a new shovel, by the way. I completely forgot about that. Blech. Okay, that should have worked. Do we need to rebuild or anything? Did you automatically apply? Looks like it applied already. I must have already told it to rebuild on a root edit. So we go back here. We got our page reloaded. We should get a database error with this, which is that this payee doesn't exist in the database. I want to set the focus after add back to line item. Okay, we got a 200 okay. However, we did get an error back that says an error occurred while saving the record. And like I said, it's probably a foreign key constraint being violated because we don't have records in our database for payees and maybe even the account types. So I think the next step that we need to do is to set up our lookup list service. let's find out what we already have implemented for it. I guess that said, we're going to start a new session of code changes. So I will go ahead and put you over there. So let's figure out all of the files that we will want to affect. One of them would be our controller. In the case we are using an API, in the case of having an API running for our current application type, such as in Blazor WebAssembly or .NET MAUI desktop, mobile, etc. We need an API controller. We'll call this lookups. Cool. So we need that file open. We'll figure out what to do with it eventually. Then on the server, which would be in shared libraries, we should already have our iLookup list state and our iLookup item service. I feel like those should be named similarly. So I'm going to name them similarly. Singularly. Hello? Mail? That wasn't mail. That was a message. Gosh, I'll get used to what sound is what someday. And that is not a thing. Okay. Nothing I need to respond to. So I would like for them to be named similarly. Cool. And now we also would like the implementations, which we would have 2 implementations for each service and 1 implementation for state. And what else would I want to look at? I think that's all we're going to mess with for now to get everything set up. Of course, there should be a test for this. Yeah. Well, I kind of, like I said before, I kind of want to skip that part because it's a small enough application. It's not going to be widely distributed. But if we wanted to be good people, we would, since we have all of our services and methods already created but not implemented, we would want to make a lookup list service test. And then write some tests for each of the methods before implementing them, which we've done before, so we know that we know how to do it. I just don't want to do it. I want to get this project done so that we can move on to the cool things. Well, this is cool to me, but not as cool as the other things I'm really interested in at the moment. The things that are currently my passion. So let's continue on. Yeah, let's start with client. Client's going to be the easiest. So to do client, let's get some API endpoints. We're going to have an add, delete, get, update. So it's pretty much the same CRUD operations that we would normally expect from pretty much a RESTful-ish. So this would be a public task I action result. Oops. Probably would help if I had a thing here. And we'll start a blank HTTP blah method because all of them will be accessible via a HTTP request. I'm going to put this in the order that I normally like having it, which is get, post, put, delete. Just a matter of preference for me. And I like to have my get all first. Cool. So this is going to be get. This is going to be get by ID. But we're going to need to know the type. So yeah, I think I'm going to put the type in here as well into all of these methods. So I'll go ahead and set it up then. Post, create some structure. I'm going to put a slash here so I don't have to worry about it later. Boot, boot. And Deflux was asking about this earlier in Discord, where he was wanting to change his SOAP service calls, I guess is what the technical term is for them. I don't know for sure. I haven't really worked with SOAP very much. But he was wanting them... he was putting both a HTTP GET and a HTTP POST, and he was wondering why, what the difference was between from body, from query, etc. So he got some really good answers there. So if you are interested in it, then check out the codehelp.net channel for the conversation he was having with a couple of people. And live coding gave some really, really good information on that. Tugasov says, I've used just soap in the shower last year. Soap is so outdated. I try to avoid it where I can. It's terrible. Am I right that your / is going to make your URL localhost / ID? Yeah, if I left it like that, but I was planning on adding stuff to the front of it. But yes, you are absolutely right. So if you use any of your typical HTML route stuff, then it's going to be based off of this path. So if I put a /, it's going to be the same as going to the root of this path, which is removing API / lookups. No, you're absolutely right. It's just I wanted to add in needing the list type in all of my lookup lists. And so where I'm going to get my list type from is there's an enum. Do you pronounce it enum? That's number 1. Or enum, number 2? Inquiring minds want to know. Because it's short for enumerator. Enumerator? I pronounce it nom nom. Duh, it's pronounced nom nom. Nom 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 nom. Oh wow, we have a smattering. So Scott is saying, oh wait, Scott is saying enum. Never heard someone say that. Nom. Yes. B Jackmart. Am I pronouncing that correct? BJ Aquamart? Akamart? BJ Akam Art? Anyway, is saying number 2, enum. Are you native English speaking? I'm kind of interested in that. It's B Jackmart, would be Scott's guess. So like me as a Native American speaker, I say enum, but I don't know if it's because it's spelled without an E at the end. It's kind of like saying char versus care versus chair for the shortened version of character. Char versus car or care. Care. And like, is this varchar? Is this ver care? Varcare? Be Yakmart. And you're a native English speaker. Yeah, and you say enum. Very cool to learn. Okay, so let's do the last bit of this, which again, all of my controllers are pretty dumb. They stupid. Uh, and so they're all going to be async. They're all going to forward this request to OK, await, and this is going to be our, we'll inject this in a second, lookup list service dot get lookup items, which needs to be renamed if they aren't named that. We decided that we are going to go ahead and use the async suffix on methods that are asynchronous. So let's create a constructor so we can dependency inject our lookup list service. Oh, this one's going to be slightly more difficult. So let me show you a thing that is going on in my brains, and then feel free to let me know if you have a better way to do this, or if you have a way that we can adapt what I currently have to this. Whoops. Whatever, list service works good too. Oops, underscore. Okay, we have an iLookup list service. Yeah, we just need the parameters, and that's why they are erroring currently. But we have an iLookup list service, but we don't have the type and this is very similar to the way that we are doing the transaction entry service. So I have an iTransaction entry service with a generic transaction entry service that constrains the type on that generic to be an iTransaction.entry view model. And I have 3 separate controllers for the 3 different transaction types. And that works in this case because I have a limited number of transaction types. For lookups, it is entirely possible that we're going to have too many lookup types to want to make one controller per lookup type. So really what I think I want is one lookup list service, and the implementation of that lookup list service will get the lookup items based off of a passed in enum, just like I'm doing here. There is an alternative. I've done this before. And so there's a few techniques that I could use. So let's use our, I was looking for this earlier. Let's use our lookup types. Which is not in my models. Did I not actually create an enum for lookup list types? No, I did not. I kind of want to keep that with my database models. That's the thing. Because the place that my lookups are coming from is my database. But that does kind of add some overhead if I do it this way. Thinking mode engaged. So one approach could be we have a lookup list type enum, and this will be stuff like account. Will this have account? This won't have account because account is not a lookup list. Account is a regular table. So a lookup list would be something that will not have very many read and writes to. Once it's set, it's usually going to sit for a while, with the exception of line item type. But for the purposes of, yeah, it would only be the ones that inherit from lookup item base. Which would be all of the objects that I have prefixed with the LU prefix. Which is starting to make me wonder, what do I put the other items that populate drop-down lists into, such as in account? I still kind of want to put that inside of my lookup list service because I want to get back all of the accounts as lookup list values, as combo box selectables, something that has an item ID, a display name, and sort order even. Inquiring minds want to know. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and add account, payee, and yeah, just those two as lookup list. Possible things that we can get from our lookup list service. So account type, category, Whoops. Deposit raisin. Oh my goodness. Line item type. And for those of you in Europe, do I have a weird way of saying K? Does that sound weird to you? I saw a YouTube video thumbnail that I almost wanted to click on, but I just wasn't interested enough, where it said, why do Americans pronounce K so weirdly? It doesn't sound weird to me. Okay, so we're going to go with this. We're going to go with lookup list types being this. Then all of my lookup items will have a public abstract lookup list type. How about this? Oh man, because I want it to be on account as well. Yeah, this is not going to be confusing at all. I'm going to make an iLookup list. And so an iLookup item is an iLookup. I don't like that at all. Okay, I'm gonna try this one out. I was given advice before, and I don't want to make you feel like I am doing this only because you gave this advice, Tyron. That if you're having trouble naming a thing, just type out whatever you're thinking, even if it's like 100 characters long, and then trim it down from there. I want to try that. So the thing that I want to make is something that indicates that this specific entity has the lookup list type, which of course we know one of the go-tos is I has lookup list type. We can rename this later. German sounds very different from English, so in some way your K sounds weird to me anyway. But then again, I spend most of my time in English media, so that almost turns that statement to the opposite. Yes, I has coffee. Absolutely. Okay, and what this is going to have is one property called lookup list type get only. Then my lookup list items will has lookup list type. So they are an extension of I has lookup list type, which means that my lookup list item base needs to implement public override lookup list type, not override, abstract. List type get only. Is that not what I called it? Is that not what I called it? List type. Okay, so that's going to have that. The problem is for all of them that we made inherit from this base, we need to override lookup list type. I also want it to be not mapped so it doesn't appear in the database. And then this is going to be specific to the actual class itself. The other way that I could have done this was I could have... I don't know if that would work. I could make an extension method on iLookupItem, but then how would I capture account and payee that don't inherit from iLookupItem or implement iLookupItem? So never mind. Lookup list type. .com dot a coconut, or this one is account type, right? Okay, and we'll take this with us to account, except it's not going to overwrite anything. It's going to inherit or implement I has lookup. And I'll do this in payee next because I just want to copy the whole thing. Because lazy. I know how to type. I know how to type. All right, and then I can copy this into you and you and you and you. Okay, and what this does, oh, and I gotta update these. What? Why? Oh my goodness. Oh, it's because I haven't added these yet? I could have sworn I added all of them already. I hadn't yet. So I'll get them added in order of least impressive. Cool. So that one is added, category is added, deposit raisin is added, line item type is added. Apparently I missed recurrence type. What is new hash set doing? So when we make our navigation properties, they will be nullable by default. And so what this is doing is saying when you .include a recurrence type record, and if it doesn't have any related records, if this specific recurrence type doesn't have any scheduled transactions associated with it, send back new hash set, which is a very lightweight way of doing new list of. But it gives us back a collection type that is empty. You could also do something like, I'm assuming you could do something like arami.empty. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend it. That way you won't have the null reference exception when you're doing a dot off of the included navigation property. So if I didn't have that there, and it would first of all tell me, hey, this is not being assigned to. You're a bad person because I have nullability turned on. But if you didn't have nullability turned on, you wouldn't even get this message. So you would do a lookup database context.reference types.include navigation property, so X arrows scheduled transactions. And then if you were looking at a given recurrence type record and you tried to dot off of scheduled transactions for that instance and that scheduled transactions was null, you'd get a null reference exception. Here you don't have to worry about getting a null reference exception. And that's also true, unless they've improved it, but that was also true if you were doing something like a dot where X arrows X dot scheduled transactions dot any, for example. where in your Lambda expression, you're dotting off of this potentially null object even before executing the query. So this just helps you avoid null reference exceptions at the cost of needing to set up a new hash set for each record that's returned. And that should be a small cost, but it's a cost nonetheless. You've never had a null reference yet? It's probably just that they've done, either you're doing a really good job of doing null checks, or they've done a good job of setting up entity framework so you, when you are dotting off of an included navigation property, it does the null check for you. Tugasov says, I've had plenty. I am plenty. I have had a significantly reduced amount of null reference exceptions ever since nullability was turned on. I mean, I will still get null reference exceptions on occasion, but it is very seldom. And that, in and of itself, will increase your velocity as a developer. Okay, so we have added this. Since they are record properties that we're adding to entities in Entity Framework, but they're not mapped, we don't have to worry about doing a migration because they're not going to affect the database in any way. So now that we have that, how am I going to use that to identify the lookup list that we're going to try to get information from? And the answer is, and again, this is probably not the best way to do this. So I'm still going to be open to suggestions. Lookup list type. So we'll get our lookup list type. And this is going to return lookup list type switch. And then based off of the lookup list type, let me just cut this for now so we can get rid of all of these errors. Let's add our missing cases and a default case. So in the case of account, we're going to do list service. Yeah, return await OK list service get lookup items of account view model, which has to accept that I am constraining T lookup item to be an I lookup item view model, which means that I can't return account. So this is where I might, yeah, probably. Is that what I ended up calling it when I put it in here? It is. Thank you. Rename. I still might cheat a little bit. I'm going to create a method in here. Yeah, I'm getting rid of this. I'm getting rid of this. So I'm not going to have a specifically typed service for each lookup item. I'm not going to have a, because that, in essence, that's a repository. It's a repository for each of my database entities. Instead, I'm just going to have one generic or one lookup list service that is going to have generic methods based off of the type of data that I want back. Look away if you don't want to see cheat code. Let's see. Up. Wait. Up. Down. Yep. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Copilot. I just wrote some cheat code. What? Copilot actually typed that out for me. That is hilarious. This is going to be task response model of account. Actually, hey, shared. Account is a lookup item. Account view model could be my lookup item. So this could still be an iLookup item view model. Whoa. What am I doing with payee? Same thing? Okay. I could make it an iLookup item view model where it is a lookup item view model of account where, but this is not abstract. If this was abstract, it would work. This should still work. This should still work. This is going to be a lookup item view model of T-key T-item. So T-key is still going to be an ID, an int. And then T-item is going to be an account. Which means that I don't really need an account view model. Because this also needs to do I has lookup list type. but then we won't be able to get the specific list type back yet. Oh my goodness, this is kind of difficult. Let's do something like T item. Oof. Do we have a constraint on T item? Because I'm thinking T item is specifically the database entity. And if T item is the database entity, then that means that T item must implement a class and I has lookup list type. And so this would be item.list type. And we'll just default it to account because lazy. And so this thing would also need the same constraint for you. Is this too convoluted? Is this too complex? So what we are essentially passing in and getting back yeah, and I just saw, by the way, that we're okay with just passing in T item because it'll default to int. It'll default to a lookup item view model of int T item if we just specify T item. So, oh my, I think this is gonna work, and I think it's gonna be okay. Because in all cases, we will at minimum be able to get back the lookup list item when we're specifically just asking for list items, even if it's an account view model or a payee. The only time that we're going to care about these extra properties and make sure that this is specifically an account view model is when we are editing the account itself. We're setting the type of account that it is, and we are or we're getting it and we're trying to figure out how to display it in some way, and maybe we're grouping by account type. So those kinds of situations. So I think this is going to work for us, which means that we don't need to add a get account. because as long as the end result is something that implements I lookup item view model, we'll be good to go. In which account and payee both do now. Awesome. This is going to work. Watch it work. So in our controller for our lookups, yeah, this is going to work. And this is everyone? Okay. Why don't I have T lookup item view model in the interface instead of all of the methods? Where? So in this case, remember that this is a controller and there would be no direct way to get T lookup item view model, for example, or even if I put it up here, this is an API controller. So I personally don't know how to make this in list service up here because I don't have, again, I don't have a way to pass the type from the generic up here, or even when I'm initializing a new controller into my service itself. So I'm using a general service for any of the types, and then I have the T item or T view model on the method itself. And hello, buffer. Buffer, I don't know how to read that. And hello, progtesting. Welcome back.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So did that answer you, Scott? And guys, if you couldn't tell, that was progtesting in our voice channel. You have an EF-based controller. Tell me more. I'm interested. So what's going on, progtesting? Well, I'm waiting for Scott to type out his thing.
Maybe Scott can come in the community chat if he wants to discuss his problem.
His problem? This is my problem.
Oh.
He's just providing some suggestions.
Oh, look.
Okay.
That
And
works.
then all of your individual controllers, you are still making one controller per entity, essentially. Yeah, and again, I don't want to do that because then I'd still need to make sure that I create a new controller every time I add a new lookup item. Where here I'm still, oh, I mean, I guess it's still the same issue where I have to add a case every time, so. Except I don't. But I kind of want to. Son of a. I like that approach, Scott. I like that approach a lot. Okay, let's try it. So we're going to make a lookups controller base. I'm too lazy to put it in a new file at the moment, so I'll just do it here. Which will inherit controller base. And this needs to be typed, where I need to pass in my T lookup list type. I'm interested to know how you're routing to it correctly. You're going based off of a hard-coded route, where I would want to go based off of. Ooh, I wonder if that's a thing. I'd want to go based off of the lookup list type, which I think we'll be able to do. So let's go with T lookup list type. Oh, but I just got rid of my. Oh, this is still going to be fine. Still going to be fine. Well, I still think that your way is going to work for me. Because the route is going to be API/control. I mean, is it still going to read it as lookups though? Because what I was thinking I was going to do is API/controller/ and let's say that this one is specifically the one for count lookups, or I guess accounts controller. Oh, then it wouldn't be account/controller. I would still want it to be API/lookups. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this as account lookup. Accounts lookup controller. And is it possible for me to use, I doubt it because it's going to say that this needs to be a constant. Not name of, lookup list type dot account. Because I don't want to hard code this. But then again, I mean, if it works, why not just do it for now? Okay, so then that should mean we can simplify this thing to be okay, await, protected, abstract, lookup list service, lookup list service of lookup item view model. This is a private read-only property. Excuse me. Field is what I meant. It was listening to me when I said property. Yeah, you're definitely a lookup item view model. So the only thing that I should have to do is say where lookup item view model is a class that implements lookup item view model. Is that not the same constraint I have on this? Oh my gosh. Yeah, and that was my issue. Dang it. You know what though? I still think that I'm going to have an Lookup List service because I don't want to rewrite the service implementation each time. It's still going to be the same, but then we can just follow the same pattern for the service where it's going to be the same functionality, and then I just have each individual service. But now I'm needing to add 2 files per lookup list. So I think I'm still going to keep this. It's just that it'll be a lot easier if I put the T lookup item view model. There. You can't use fields? Okay, whatever. Sure. We'll make it a private property or protected property then. Okay, so then all of these will just need to be of T item, in which case we don't need to pass in the list type. Cool. It's Friday. I forgot that. Feels good. Awesome. Yeah, progtesting. Is there anything that you want to talk about? I know that I've been talking this whole time as if I'm trying to convey information, but not really.
So it's community day, and I wanted to talk about something. Have you ever made a streaming app?
What do you mean by streaming app? Like something that streams content or something that is for the stream?
No, I'm thinking if I'm going to do online fitness classes, I need, of course, to make my own streaming app because, yeah, that's how we roll. I was thinking, have you done that with a streaming in high definition?
I have not, and I wouldn't know where to begin.
Me neither.
But if you watch Spotify, the playlist, you'll learn all about how it seems. I don't know if this is true or not, but my assumption was, well, I don't know if I want to talk about that because it might be a spoilers. So never mind. Just kidding.
Okay. Yeah, because you have been watching streams on YouTube.
Right.
Okay, so you have not used any other platforms for
Yeah. So
watching.
find what feels good. She. It's just that it's yeah. Find what feels good. fwfg.com, and I think she went through another platform. She went through Uscreen. Uscreen.tv. So this might be a platform that you use if you didn't want to develop the actual site itself entirely from scratch.
Yeah, probably not worth it to it 100% from scratch.
Yeah, exactly. Well, depending on how much using this platform costs. This is
Yeah.
$159 a month plus 50 cents per subscriber.
Yeah. So I could probably do something like this for free in Azure if I do
Right.
it myself. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
But apparently, something you can maybe search for are um, platforms for setting up your own streaming site.
Yeah, I'll do that. Still
Otherwise,
interesting.
YouTube and having your like some of your content be free, and then some of it being behind the what is it called on YouTube?
Probably some paywall or something.
Yeah, there is a paywall thing, and I can't think of what it's called. It's equivalent to subscribing on Twitch. Let's go find
Okay.
someone that has it. You probably have it, Virtual Reality Toolkit. They don't. Pay No, not Patreon. That's weird. Haven't you been here before, Kawai? Kawai. Almost kawaii. Almost kawaii. You know who does have it? James Montemagno. Your best friend.
Yes, my best friend.
It is called Joining. So
Let's
easy to
join.
remember. YouTube members.
Oh, okay. So there you pay for it.
Yeah, so if you click join, then it says here's how much per month in order to get these perks. And there's probably members only video or members only content. There's definitely members only chat and blogs and stuff. So I'm assuming that there are members only videos,
Okay, that's
aka
interesting.
OnlyFans.
This is OnlyFans for fitness. Finally, I can spread my wings on an online platform.
But of course, if you want it
Okay.
to look more professional, then of course you would do it on a platform that makes it look like the entire site is branded for you, which would be something like that Uscreen. Kind of
Um,
like using Wix to make your website.
yeah, so that I can probably tinker with. For now, I just want to take a look into it and see if this is something
In
that
a
I can
book.
do because I train at least 11. Well, 1 week is 7 days,
In some places.
and I train at least 21 hours a week. So I might as
Occasionally.
well I might as well stream it so people can join, and I can promote my new business as well. So I think this is a win-win.
A why
Or
and a
what
win?
say you, Umberto?
I would agree. I would absolutely agree.
So I'm probably going to spam the server with some.
Absolutely, please do.
Yeah, I wasn't really finished. I'm
I
going to
don't care.
spam the server.
Spam the server. Just do it.
Just spam it for God's sake.
But anyway, what are you
I'm
going to
going
spam us
to
with?
make like a survey, do a little questionnaire to
Oh,
see
cool.
if people are willing to pay, how much they're willing to pay, how
Oh,
often,
yeah.
what kind of level
Market
of fitness they
research.
want. Yes, because I
Never thought
think
that the
this
channel
is
would be used for that. That's cool.
well, uh, as far as I'm concerned, we might as well give it a go and see what
Yeah.
happens. Okay, so that was what I was going to talk to you about. Now I have not drained my talking yet. I have more.
Yay.
So I have been wrestling with WebAssembly, .NET, WebAssembly for a long time now.
I
And
did not know.
yes, you did. And today I found out that I can host ASP.NET Core WebAssembly or even Razor pages for like $3 to $5 a month. Okay, so that makes all my problems go away because then I can use Blazor WebAssembly components with Razor pages and then hook it up to a CMS. Make this content driven, so I can make content and push out to the site. And this makes it very, very interesting because every time I have been looking at hosting ASP.NET Core, I would end up like $50 a month,
Mm-hmm.
which is a bit much for one person trying to, yeah, create a little business, side business. But now I'm down to $3 to $5 a month, and then I can start looking into WebAssembly again. So that was my TED talk. Do you have any questions?
Nice.
So yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with this. It means that I've found a stack that I can use that I know without hammering my bank account to the ground within a couple of months. Because it's not like I have one project; I have too many.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is why you were talking about using the uh, triad approach.
Yes, and I have done that. So now I have ruled out a lot of projects, and I'm committed to at least 3 projects going forward, as compared to like 12 half-assed projects. I'm going to do 3 fully assed projects.
Scott, is that site also good for posting streaming videos, like streamable content? Scott is recommending simply.com.
Yeah. Um, so
That's
Scott is a Danish person, I think. Yeah, okay. Oh, look. 5. Oh,
oh, it's just a place to host your site, host your domain.
yeah, but you can host what? You can host a full ASP.NET Core for $1 a month? Eh,
$2
no.
per month for the first year, then $10 a month. I mean, I always look at standard because it provides it's probably the one that's intended to be used.
Yeah, and I have it in Norwegian kroners, not US dollars. So,
Well,
yeah.
these aren't US dollars either.
But okay, so why have I been fooling myself that I have to pay like 10 times much as this?
I wonder if this includes database
Yes,
and
5.
uh,
MySQL
where
database.
do you see that? I'm so blind.
If you scroll down on,
Oh, see full details.
yeah,
Here we go. Yes. So MySQL database, that's cool. Like most of the apps that I would be putting together wouldn't require a full SQL server.
no, me neither. Maybe,
You can
yeah,
only have
okay.
one database though. Oh wait, this actually
No,
says you can
5
have one Microsoft SQL database.
and
That's
5
cool.
MySQL databases.
And 5
I'm not really
MySQL
sure what the
databases.
difference is.
That's cool. I don't really care about
Okay.
the email account. Wow.
No, but
Thanks,
this is
Scott.
great. Thanks. He's providing value.
Yeah. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, this was interesting. But I'm not so sure about using Azure, to be
Why
honest.
does it say ASP.NET version 4.8 though?
Oh,
That's different than the actual .NET runtime on it, right?
I hope so.
Because we would like .NET 6, .NET 7. Okay, so the ASP.NET version doesn't matter, says Dukasoft. It can host .NET 6 and 7. Awesome. Cool. I'm going to keep that site as well.
Yes,
Because
this is
right
going
now,
into my folder.
I'm not really using it, but I do have a domain on Amazon, on AWS.
I did not see that, Tyron. I don't know when it came out.
Tyron was
Today?
asking, did you see the Docker announcement? They have a way to host raw WASM containers, and that's what progtesting was just responding to. For those that can't see chat in the future.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I need to be professional.
Be a professional. This is getting posted to a place without chat playback. Or I could
Okay.
be professional and show chat on the screen.
Yeah, so you can show chat
Yeah.
just underneath where you see the our nicknames. Is
Oh
that
yeah.
where you?
You're thinking up there? That's a good spot.
Okay, so you can drag and drop. Is that what you're?
Yeah. I can
Oh,
move it
look.
wherever. I just need to add it. An example app they built in WASM, Rust to WASM. The
Okay, this
entire
is
container is
Wasm
threaded
Edge.
X.
I have been trying out Wasm Edge lately, and it's amazing compared to .NET WebAssembly.
I don't know what the difference is, but you do.
Um, Wasm Edge, if you go to GitHub, you can. It's basically written in Rust.
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 Ruski.
It's written in Russian.
From Russia. I wanted to get this thing done. So my time is almost up, so I wanted to add.
Oh, you are actually. So, how long can I sit here and whine about my problems?
Forever and a day.
Okay, so now a bit serious. How long are you streaming today?
Like 2 more minutes at most.
Right. It used to be 20, 30, but we have changed the time.
Oh, you already fell back. Fell back. Spring forward, fall back. Yeah, you already fell back.
Yeah, so
That's next
didn't
weekend
you?
for us. No.
Oh, okay. No, so we do it, I think it was last week, or week before that. Northern Hemisphere, you know?
Whoa. I
Whoa,
don't even want to try pronouncing any of those.
jag говорю по-ryski. That was probably not good.
So I do need to make one per lookup type. Not a
Okay, but this
categorical.
is good. Then I actually have a bit of a control when it comes to what kind of stack to choose. And I also been managing to get my WebAssembly down to 2-second load time on mobile now, across all mobile types. So, yeah. I'm not gonna shit on WebAssembly, .NET WebAssembly for too
Too
long
much.
because it's getting better now.
Cool. Yeah, that's really good to hear. I'm really excited to. I just haven't been keeping up with any of the latest news on it, but I'm really excited to look at .NET 7 and everything that it does.
Yes. Okay, so you have to leave, which is sad, but that is reality.
It's sad but true, but I will be back on Monday.
So you're not hanging out in the community?
Correct, I have meetings on Fridays.
You do.
Isn't
Fine.
that
But I
great?
am going to be hanging out in community hangout today because I have a lot to do. So if
I have a
anybody wants
deliverable
to,
by the end of the day so that it's ready for the build on Monday morning, first thing.
that is the life of a professional,
Oh,
which I am not. So I can chat
you
all
are
day.
too. You are absolutely a professional. It's just you're better at managing your time than me. Or actually, it's because you don't have other people giving you different directions to go in every five
Oh,
seconds.
yes. That is the truth.
Like yesterday I was planning on having this thing done, and then they were like, "Well, we just got our feedback from the localization team." And that was like right at our morning stand up. So then I needed to respond to that and then apply their suggested changes and then submit the new localizations file so that they can give us back the localizations. And then there was an issue with. I did two things. Oh, right. The other team that I'm working with, I built them a prototype WPF with Blazor WebView so that they can turn their Angular component into an Angular custom element, and then we could see if it works inside of that Blazor WebView control directly. They would know what all they need to set up for the JavaScript callbacks and everything. Or they could just turn their components into Blazor and give us those. That would be nice.
That would be fantastic. You don't seem to be a fanboy of Angular.
I just don't know Angular, and everything in our current app is Blazor. So it
Yes,
doesn't,
so doesn't make sense.
yeah. But they are the ones that are going to keep maintaining that portion of the UI, and they just keep
Okay.
providing us updated JavaScript files when they turn it into a custom element. At least that's the plan. So I don't know. I'm okay with it.
Okay. But I'll leave you to it. I'm going to go
Cool.
and hang out in community hangout.
Hucky ducky. Yeah, if I have
Okay.
a chance between 1:30 and 3:30, I'll hop in there.
Nice. I'll be there.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye. That was progtesting, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And as you heard us talking about, I am going to be ending my stream here so that I can get back to work, get this thing done. DUNN or something. I don't know how to spell. So I'm going to go to this screen, which is the official I'm ending my stream screen. I hope you guys enjoyed your time. I enjoyed hanging out with you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for giving me some feedback. Thank you, Scott, so very much for this approach that we are going forward with. I am going to try it out. I think it's going to work really well. Feel free to hang out with us on Discord right now. Progtesting said he's going to be hanging out in the community hangout voice channel. Feel free to pop in there anytime you feel like it to use your voice to communicate with other people in our community. This video, the recording for this will be posted to YouTube around 24 hours after the end of the stream, provided I remember to export it, do all of the thumbnail stuff, and then, yeah, all of that good stuff. So that's going to be it for me for today. We're going to go ahead and raid someone, which I haven't done for a while because, like I said, I usually like to get back to work, and then now I have a meeting in 24 minutes, which is kind of cool. I forgot to mention, they did a really cool thing with meetings for my client. They actually start meetings 5 minutes after either the hour or the half hour and end it 5 minutes before the hour or half hour when it would normally end to give people a 10-minute buffer between meetings. So meetings must start no earlier than 5 minutes after the even interval and end 5 minutes before the even interval, which I thought was really cool. I think everyone should do that. Anyway, that's it. I should probably set up the raid since I said we're going to raid. This has been someone that's shown up in our channel often, and just another developer. So we're going to head over there to Xcoding. So if you feel like hanging out, I'll be lurking in his stream for some time until later. I might have to turn the volume off. Ciara? Is that the name of the thing where you cut meetings off on each end by 5 minutes? Because I really like that. I like it a lot. Oh, Xcoding is doing Ciara stuff. Ciare. I don't really know what that is, but yeah, we're going to hang out on his channel. So that's going to be it for me for the weekend. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday. I plan on being same time. I think we're doing, yeah, I think we have one more weekend before daylight savings is in effect for us. But if it's not, then next week will be UTC -7. But you'll know. I'll have a go live message. Okay, ciao. Cheers. I disappear.